Hey, welcome to In the Chute. Kalen's got something he wants to run by me for my honored opinion,
Honored
humble
opinion.
opinion.
Okay, so for your honored opinion,
Yeah.
um, we're if we're recording in mid February.
Yep.
However, this will be releasing mid March, so calving may have just started or it's about to start.
Okay.
My question is, for those that may not be familiar with beef cattle production or anything like that, there's a season wherever you are within the country. There is a season when the calves come. It's calving season. Is what it's called. Normally, it's a 2 to 3 month process. It just depends on kind of how everything works out. But this year, my question is, what's kind of the typical last minute stuff that you do in preparation to work and take care of things for the arrival of the calves or the calving season in general? What are some of those little like last minute tasks or jobs or I don't know
Yeah,
projects
no,
that you got to do?
that's a good question. I always track them. So I got basically a spreadsheet that I built um, with each cow number, whether she's got a heifer or a bull, and then I put the date in that it calved, whatever it was, or even if you got twins. So I'm keeping track of heifers to bull ratio and whatever that cow has. Any side notes along with it during the calving season of what did this cow do? Was there something special about it? They have twins. Did she lose a calf? All of those kinds of records that is just a spreadsheet. And so you update that because we have some cows that we sold. We've got some heifers that'll be first time calvers, so they need to be put on there, and you just keep that up to date. So that's just kind of some paperwork type stuff. Then you've got all of uh, the tagging. I need tags. I need um, bands for the bulls, and we're looking at any of the kind of stuff that goes along with that. Like you may have to, if I got a calf in the corrals or from the heifers, then I got some iodine mixture that and can hit those navels with the iodine, um, so that you don't get an infection that way. Got antibiotic in case something happens to somebody somehow or something, with a cow, and I've got suture material in case you have a say a prolapse or something happens that way, which we haven't had in a long time, knock on wood. But all of that
That's a
stuff
bad one.
is, yeah, that's a bad. You hate to see that. But so you got syringes, needles that you normally have on hand anyway. You just want to make sure you got enough of what you need before you start into some major events like that. And of course the tags are colored, and you write on them with a specific type of ear tag pen, which it is pretty indelible, and it stays. That stuff will get on you. You can't get it off, but you need that for your tags. I like to keep those tags matching what the cows are, so you can see a calf somewhere and something's going on with it. You can match it to that cow really easily, and or look for her, or she's not around a calf. You start looking for that calf and find out, she's left it somewhere, and it's everything's all good. But being able to ID those animals is really important. You may need to do some kind of a doctrine, pick them up. So I've got just basically a pig and string that I can hog tie a calf with. Yeah, I keep that right in the cabin kit that I take with me, either in the side by side or the pickup when you're feeding. It's just all part of that kit. Let's see, the banding um, tool, which makes sure that that's working and it's not broke or about to break. And I've got an extra one on hand, that and a tagger. You want to make sure that those things are good to use. Oh my goodness, let's see. As when you get into the possibility of having to pull a calf, I want to have my calf puller there, which really isn't like what most people use. I've got a strap, nylon strap to get around the calf's feet, or some people use chains, but I can double that around a leg or two legs, hopefully get two legs and a nose coming.
And I should
And
ask
then,
too, why do you do nylon versus chain?
well, when you put a chain on your wrist and pull down hard,
Yeah,
feel how much pain is there. You can break legs, or you can break or damage
tendons
ligaments,
and stuff.
tendons, that
Yeah.
stuff that way too. Yeah. So I like that strap. I think is like a 1 inch wide strap, but then I double it. So you just you got that whole strap is even wider, displacing some of that uh, pounds per square inch is really what you're looking at, or your pressure on it. So, and then I like to use a come along that I can loosen really quickly and not put too much pressure on. And it looks kind of funny, but I'll just use a come along and have it fairly loose. And then when that cow is straining, then I'll push down on the chain that it's attached to and the cable itself. And then when she stops straining, I can release that. Some of those calf pullers, they put tension on it, and you can release them a little bit, but you can't release them quite like you do this method that we use. And we're pulling down a little more, up, out and down instead of straight out like some of these calf pullers do. And you pull down as well, but not quite with the angle. And we've had very good luck with that, really good luck with that. And I like it. It didn't seem to hurt the cows as much. And of course, you got to watch these cows, um, and work with them and not just say, hey, you need to calve right now because I got other things to do. I mean, that's your job. So making sure that's all working in good order. Fact is, the other day it was blowing here so hard. We had 50-mile-an-hour winds and gusting higher than that. I didn't get anything done outside, but I was in the shop kind of picking things up and fixing a couple of come-alongs that needed it. They were so we were down to doing some things like that. But you're going to be using them. So um, having that ready, having that head catch in the barn set up, get it ready, cleaning that big area out, and having some nice new chips in there. I like to have those chips clean so that a calf can lay on that. Right now, I got that stud goes in there and gets out of the wind and the weather. Right now, I've got that open for him, but that'll change. And then I'm going to put up some panels so that I can have another catch pen to feed right into that barn in case we have to pull a calf. We can just walk them right in there and isolate them inside the barn, put them in the head catch and calve. But having all that stuff ready, some OB lube, gloves, those big long sleeve gloves that go all the way up to your arm or up to your shoulder. Um, just having everything set up and ready to go. And that's then when it gets closer, I like to have these animals wormed and deloused again. You kind of stay on top of that, but I like to do that before these calves are born, so that is a little bit systemic in them as well, a couple weeks ahead of time, so they get a chance to have some of that wormer when they come up, because they're going to start eating God knows what and ingesting larvae or whatever. So having that done, and then the bigger portion of that is separating animals, heifers in the corrals as they get closer to calving, and then uh, calvy cows from those that are not calved or won't calve, like some of these yearling heifers that have not calved or not bred yet. We'll have those in the larger pasture, where as we calve in one pasture and push them into the other to just keep them segregated. And it's a whole lot easier way to check your calves too. If you see you got a couple of calves out there, you know that, yeah, I haven't gotten to them, or I've only got 2 calves in here that I got to get through that gate. Give them a couple of days to acclimate and gets their sea legs under them after you've tagged and banded them if needed, and then push them through. And you can get a good easy count on your animals that way, who's calved and who hasn't, who you got to watch.
Now, out
Other
of
than that, that's it.
yeah, other than that, just all the things in the world. Um, out of all, again, but out of all of that though, what if you were on a time crunch for some reason and you didn't have the time to get it all done, and you had to really focus and prioritize like one or two things, what would those one or two things be, so that you could maximize the potential assistance in the whole calving season?
Getting those animals separated, getting them into the appropriate pastures, so
Mm-hmm.
that that's the larger thing to do, right? And takes a little bit more time, but once that's done, then you can, because you're not having calves steady. They're not having
Right.
them every hour. So you could be a little late on some of that stuff. Having your tagging stuff ready and having those cows segregated to where you want them would be the bigger thing. And then you can makeshift stuff up until you know you are caught up by just as you're calving, work on it, just whittle it out. It takes a couple days to really get things ready. It's
Okay.
not horrible.
That's fair.
Because well, and it is because you put things away where they need to be. I need to. Well, the one other thing is bring that hot box
Oh
down
yeah.
where it's available. And that's really a crucial one too. I would have that ready because especially early in the calving seasons tends to be a lot colder, and I want that box ready to go so I can plug it in and have heat and get a calf in that box if I need to, and get them warmed up so you can save them right away. There's, it's foolish to not do that till you need it, because then you got to dig that thing out, bring it in from the loft, get it set up, and then ready to go. And that's just a waste of time. Time, every minute counts when you find a calf that needs some heat.
Yeah. Well, so happens with hypothermia.
Yeah.
So with that, that's the last minute calving preparations and calving season tasks to do on the Hashknife ranch.